We're like,
kill a grown man. I was like, can I wrestle a bear?
Are you a big Trekkie?
I am, and I've moderated actual Star Trek panels.
Really?
And I even auditioned for my first Star Trek movie a couple months ago.
What is that a tattoo? Is that a foot?
Yeah, I put my hand in the toilet in the beginning. I'm glad I came on this podcast because this is honestly a life-changing fact.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Isaac Abrams Show. I'm your host, Isaac Abrams. Today's very special guest, musician, comedian, philanthropist, one of my favorite comedians, Morgan J. Welcome to the show,
Morgan.
Morgan.
What's up, y'all? Good to be here, man. Thanks so much for having me.
Today we talk about Vegas and food and sex parties. So you're going to want to tune in to that stuff.
Yeah.
It was a great episode. I'm super thankful that you're here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
And I really enjoyed our chat. Thanks for watching, everybody. And this is the intro song.
My buddy just sent me a clip of Andrew Schultz's podcast. He was talking about a similar situation. Shane Gillis is like kind of like the hottest comic right now.
Yeah.
And also, by the way, I'm a fan. His special is so fucking funny.
So good.
I haven't really laughed out loud at a comedy special in a while. We do a lot. We do a lot of comedy. We see a lot of comedy. And I was on my TikTok live. I go live on TikTok every day to move tickets. Mm-hmm. You could have 1 million followers and people still don't know that you're going to their city.
Yeah.
So I go live every day, like get your tickets. Mm-hmm. And every day I sell a couple tickets. If I go live for 20 minutes, I make $300 selling a couple tickets.
It's not bad.
So somebody in the live was like, "Hey, so Shane Gillis and Matt McCursky, I think is his co-host, the secret podcast they do or something."
Yeah, Matt Shane.
Yeah, they were talking about you, and they said you're like the Carrot Top of music comedy.
Oh shit!
And I go, and I'm like, that's kind of like a compliment because like Carrot Top is like kind of killing it, and I hear his show is awesome.
Yeah.
I hear it's great.
He was just on Andrew Santino's podcast.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
He's been selling out at the Luxor for 25 years. If you want to shit on him, you can, but like, can't move tickets. Like nobody can move tickets.
I know.
Like
so in my head, I'm like, oh, that's kind of a compliment. And then the guy was like, no, they were kind of talking shit about it. And I was like, I was a little bit bummed being a fan of this person, you know. Mm. And I didn't double check. I didn't like go through the podcast to double check. I didn't know what episode it was. And maybe it could just be a whole total lie because there's trolls who are just trying to fuck with your head sometimes on the
always shows. Yeah.
And then my buddy, my really close friend Mossy, who does social media with me, and he comes to a lot of the shows and helps produce some of the content with me. He was like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, if the dude at the top of the game is even talking about you, bro, you made it, dude. You're there, bro. You're in the conversation.
Clip that shit out.
Right?
Yeah.
You know? And then in the clip I saw of Andrew Schultz, Joe Rogan was talking about Andrew Schultz to Dave Chappelle, and Dave Chappelle was like, I don't know if I fuck with that shit, with that like PowerPoint like stuff, whatever. And then Andrew Schultz was like, yeah, I get it. It's like nobody wants to hear about how somebody else is funny. They want to hear about how they're funny.
Right.
And so, you know, there's no hate. It's just sort of like, and I'm sure if I see Shane or any of these comics in a room, because I know for a fact there's some comics that really don't like or respect what I do because I use a guitar. But, you know.
I don't think it's you. I think it's the people who aren't doing it at your level.
Because once it goes well, they're like, oh, it's great.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. But there's so many newbies out there that are like scared to be on stage alone. So they hide behind a guitar.
Yeah.
Or they're musicians who are like can't make it as a musician, so they're trying to do stand up, but they're trying to do musical stand up.
For me, it was like I was doing stand up for 6 years. I was doing well. I had auditioned for JFL doing stand up.
Yeah.
I had like, you know, I was doing fine. I was auditioning for stuff, but I just was like not happy. Like I don't like my material. You know, then the philosophy was I forget who it was. I think it was Sebastian. Like I was like, I need to want to buy a ticket to my show.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. I need to be the one that likes this. Otherwise, this is going to be no fun, and I'm going to hate my career for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So that was where, like, I was just doing music for myself, and that's kind of where the transition happened, you know? And it was very scary, and even now I'm, like, kind of transitioning into writing real music and in hopes of becoming a legitimate songwriter for other artists, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
At least until AI really gets, like, 100% good at it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it will. I'll tell you what. I've done some AI songwriting on stage, like with the crowd, like give us suggestions, you know? Mm-hmm. And, you know, I'm gonna be real with you, like, it's not like the best song, but sometimes it, you know, some stuff hits. You're like, all right. And eventually there's so much material of me online that I could be like, could you write a song like me?
Yeah.
And it will. And I'll be like, that's great.
Yeah. And then you just tweak it a little bit. I mean, I
tweak it a
use
little
AI
bit.
all
Absolutely.
the time.
You got to use it as and I think for us, we're lucky because live performance, I don't think will ever go away.
No.
So in that sense, we have some job security. Ironically, like if you're doing well in comedy, it's like the one career you'd think that when you start doing it, you're like, there's no way I'm going to make money. And then
Well, I'm the opposite. I got into comedy for the money.
Oh, okay.
Because I wanted to go back out on the road, but I didn't want to start another band. And I didn't want to go through the music.
Because you come from the music industry.
Yeah. So and then oddly enough, through my comedy journey, I feel like I want to get to the point where I bring a whole band with me.
That's what I would like. Yeah.
And because all my friends still play. My former guitar player is a luthier. My little brother is a touring guitar player.
Yeah.
Everybody I know plays drums. So I'd love to have like a wireless mic and then just run around and just like talk to somebody.
That's essentially what I did that in February. I tried it out. It was so fun.
Yeah.
The guys who do the roast battle band.
Right.
I met the MD, Devin Bing, through another show, and he's so good, so talented. And we tried it out, and it was just like, excuse me, it was so fun, and I got to bring people on stage. I got to run through the crowd, and my reps and my team, we were talking about like, long term, like we could see me with like a residency somewhere, like kind of like Carrot Top, bringing it back. Like, I ain't mad at it, man. I saw David Copperfield. I was curious because I was in Vegas a couple months ago. I was like, I heard about David Copperfield's show. Like, I heard it's like funny. Like, it's not a bad show, but it's like funny in the way like you get to see somebody who was like such a legend settle into doing 2 shows a night for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
And you're like, how does this feel?
Well, the difference between David Copperfield and us is that he has 9 other magicians helping him come up with new shit.
Right. True.
Yeah.
I had submitted a packet for a really successful puppeteer for his Vegas show.
Oh, what the
Terry Fader?
Terry, yeah.
Yeah, so I submitted a packet to that, and it was fine.
To open?
To give him, because he needed to freshen up his act, and he needed like new puppets, new songs, new ideas, and so I just pitched my ideas and stuff like that, and the pack. My manager, I was happy with the pack. I don't really do that sort of stuff, but it was interesting to see like, how they need to freshen the act up, and they have to have stuff, bring people back in. You also need to work on being relevant to sell tickets. Like that's true. That's its own skill.
Yeah, I'm torn on that because I'm building my fan base, right? But I'm touring with guys that are famous from TV. So they don't necessarily have, like the guy I'm out with right now, he has his fans from the TV show that he won. The contestant-based TV show. So they're not comedy fans. You come and then you're opening for them, and normally the laugh that you would get in front of a comedy crowd, they're like, or something hits.
These are like the America's Got Talent, wholesome.
Yeah.
It's because I auditioned for AGT, but I also did Bring the Funny.
Yeah.
And they edit, they really produce it to be very palatable to, a certain type of person. It's like, I'll tell you, I'm surprised I made it as far as I did on that show, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Well, no, because I do a lot of improv in these shows. They don't like that.
Oh, they hate it because they don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah, but they were like really down with the cause, and but I didn't really ever move a lot. I get recognized from TikTok more than I would ever have been from that TV show.
Which is super funny now because when TikTok started blowing up for comics,
they didn't want to do it. They hated it.
Everybody wanted to hate it.
I was an early adopter.
Trevor Wallace was an early adopter also.
Yeah.
And then everybody was shitting on TikTok comics like, oh, yeah, well, when you get on stage, you're not going to be able to do an hour. And people were like, bet, hold my beer.
Yeah.
It's like there's some guys that are super famous on TikTok, and that's great, but they can't hold an hour.
And they can't move tickets.
Then they can't move
tickets.
I
know what the problem is, and I've had conversations with friends of mine who have millions of followers who can't move tickets because their account is like a lot of sketches and a lot of there's a lot of stuff going on. It doesn't showcase their stand-up.
Right.
So when you see my page, I post a lot of clips from my shows. It might get annoying, but you know what you're getting from my show.
Exactly.
So they'll buy it. They're like, this is a live show. And the feedback I get is this is better than the TikTok. This is better than what I, Because
being in that room and laughing with other people.
It's different. And for a lot of people, I'm their first comedy show. Just like right now, for a lot of people, Trevor Wallace, Matt Rife, Nimesh Patel, a lot of these people who are blowing up on social media, it's a young crowd. It's their first comedy show, and they have no idea what they don't do that stuff.
Yeah.
So
the interesting thing to me is like, how does that affect the audience member on their second show, right? Because these are very interactive shows, right? Matt Rife does a ton of crowd work. You interact with the crowd, So then you go to a show where it's just like, okay, time to chill. Like, are we training the younger generation of audience members to just start?
They be yelling
shit
out.
out?
Yeah, they be yelling.
Yeah,
I'm not mad at it. I don't get angry at it. It's just kind of the way it is. And sometimes some really good shit comes out of it. I've never had an issue where like I had to throw somebody out personally, or I just never really had I get the feedback I get from clubs is like, your audience is very nice. They're like very chill.
Oh,
and my act is very chill. I've heard things about like Matt's crowds. They can get a little rowdy.
He was in Portland 2 days before we got to Portland.
Yeah, and they're like, God, Matt's crowds are just like, God, they get so wasted and they just want to fuck them. And
they're rough, dude.
They're rough, dude.
For chicks. I mean, they're aggressive.
Yeah.
And they're like telling the security guard, like, you can't tell me what to do. Like, it's all like mini Karens.
It's crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all right, though.
But he's a sweetheart and he deserves all the success that
and
he's
people
getting
don't realize
right now.
he's been doing this shit since he was like 15.
Yeah.
He's been like, he's 28. He's been doing it just as long as I have, I've been doing it.
Yeah.
And also, shout out to Matt Wright for paving the way for comedians to look hot.
That's what's up.
Like, for so long, I don't know, there was this like self-deprecation kind of
fat doofus comedy.
It's like, wear a nice shirt, be put together. I don't say you got to be all muscly and shit, but you don't have to like make your whole set about how I'm a nerd and I'm ugly and I suck.
Anytime I don't want to work out, I'm like, Matt Rife worked out today.
For real. Literally this summer, I put on like 6 pounds of muscle.
Yeah.
Just because I saw Matt Rife can do it, I can do it too.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, if that is a thing, if it moves 2 more tickets next year, I'm going to sweat it out
it's
for
all, and I'm getting feedback, Mm-hmm. It's like, I'm having sex with my girl, it gets a little rough, what I'm saying? So, I'm gonna put that hand necklace around her.
Yeah. It takes so much longer to see results than I thought.
It does. I've been at it for three months now. And, in the 3 months I put on an average of 6 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's tough, but it just shows you the level of dedication. And those people online who are Instagram models, let them take photos of themselves and don't hate on them.
Yeah.
Because if that's what they work on, that's their product. So let them show the product off.
Exactly.
I can't hate on that.
No, I was just talking to somebody on the phone before you came over about what do the I don't want to call them Instagram fitness influencers.
Yeah.
What do they do when they turn 30 or 35? Like, what's the next progression if
they're going to have to pivot? They're going to have to do like some nutrition thing, become a Pilates instructor. If they can pivot into some sort of brand deal, sell their own line of yoga mats or some shit like that. They got to pivot somehow.
Or invest well if they're making money.
Or invest well, because you got to kind of strike while that iron's hot. Mm-hmm. Become a real estate agent. I'm not even hating on it. Like literally, like you have to do something. I talk to my partner about this all the time. She and I, she works in the industry, and it's like, look, I'm not gonna be able to do comedy and sing funny. It's not gonna be cute forever. Mm-hmm. Our jobs are gonna get replaced at some point. We got to think about other things we can do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like to cook. She likes to cook. I like hosting, hospitality. I think there's a future where I open a restaurant, a food truck, whatever it is, a club or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe Rogan did that shit. I'm not saying I'm trying to open a club like him, but like, I don't want to say the idea. I'll tell you off the thing.
Okay.
My idea for, I'm going to tell you the idea. Maybe somebody will do it. Who cares?
I mean, you can save it. How about this? I got an idea for you.
Okay, for sure.
This is what I wanted to do when I get to the point where I have the band.
Yeah.
I want the audience to be able to scan a QR code when they leave, and then the next day be able to download the set.
Oh yeah.
And then that goes on a Spotify playlist, and then you get that Spotify streaming money
from the set that you just did the night before.
Yeah.
You see, that's smart and if it's music, because if every show of mine is different, slightly different, right? Yeah. So for the crowd, that night is special for them, and they would love like kind of like medieval times. Like I'd love a photo from the show. I'd love like something like and if they could go back and relive the moment from that night,
yeah,
that's very smart, man.
And you can set up your set. I don't know how you do it now. I haven't seen your full hour, but
Yeah.
if you have a section where you're doing crowd work when you don't want to burn your actual jokes,
Yeah.
then you go like, all right, I'm only going to put up
The crowd work.
the
from
crowd
that.
work stuff.
Yeah, Todd Barry released the crowd work tour
Yeah.
special where he just did city by city.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just be real with you. Like my crowd work is like pretty similar. I'm like trying to find ways to make it different, but at a certain point you ask the same questions. What do you do? Where are you from? How long you been together?
Yeah.
Do you like what you do? Like, and you hope somebody, says something goofy, but
Right.
it doesn't always happen. So it's like, I see that, yeah, but there are nights. I mean, we have musicians that and artists that we're fans of that you're like, no, I like their show that they did at the Red Rocks in like 1989
Right.
when they did that. Like that's the show.
Yeah, or the B-side vinyl from their Japanese tour in
Right?
'81, and you're like, that's the shit.
That was
Yeah,
that's even
yeah.
better than the
They played it better that night than ever. Yeah.
So there is something to it, like, but it's hard to do with every show.
It's a lot
Yeah.
for an audio engineer to like mix it, master
And
it.
also like our music and our act is like in the hands of some of these sound technicians sometimes. I'm not saying I don't trust them, but I've had more than my fair share of the sound booth person who's like 19 working
Yep.
who doesn't really know what he's doing, and the audio gets fucked up, and it's like,
And they're like, the owner told me to leave these knobs exactly like this.
right. And it's like they don't, they're getting paid, $15 an hour maybe.
Yeah.
They're not really getting tips. So it's like I can't be mad at them. And I always feel like an asshole when I, because I'm doing music,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like an asshole. I go to the sound booth. I'm like, can we just like tweak this, like turn that down a little bit?
Yeah.
The mids, the highs. I know this sounds crazy. It's going to be different. Like, it's, and a lot of venues, I don't have a monitor.
Really?
Well, comedy clubs, they don't necessarily, some they
Yeah.
don't. Like the LO, like I'm doing LOL in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
Big ass venue, huge ceilings. Acoustics are kind of rough, very echoey. I don't have a monitor there, so it's hard for me to know what they're hearing. I was just at the Laugh Factory in Long Beach last night. They got their whole sound system redone, and I told the manager afterwards, I was like, I'm just gonna give you feedback. Like, it sounded better before. I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm in the back of the room. I could barely understand what he's saying on stage.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that, and I got to be a little bit annoying about it sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you the other thing. I open for D. Ray Davis sometimes,
Okay.
and
He's a beast.
I have so much love for him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like text him too much and tell him because I don't want to be weird about it.
Right.
But like, he really put me on. I was doing
Yeah.
comedy for 12 years before anybody ever asked me to open for him.
Mm-hmm.
Open for them, and he was the only person who's asked me to open for them in my 16 years of comedy.
That's awesome.
And I'm like a off-white, spicy white dude. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not. Also, Matt Rife opened for D-Ray. Matt Rife said D-Ray was one of the few people that asked him to open for
Yeah.
him.
Did you see the clip of Dane Cook taking all the credit for Matt Rife this week?
I didn't, but there's some Dane was supposed to like work on a special, and then he bailed on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm not taking credit, but I'm the one that told Matt this. I'm the first one to take Matt on tour. And it was like it wasn't even a
Bro,
comedy
can I tell you
podcast.
something? Matt and I were talking at a show a while ago, and the thing about D-Ray is like D-Ray pays you well. He like is really generous. And I've learned a lot about that. Like when I go to, I don't move tickets like any of these people, but I make sure to like, who's ever doing my green room service, I try to tip them well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I try to be really nice at all the staff, and I try to be really nice and generous when I can be.
Mm-hmm.
I have some openers that are coming with me on my show. I can't pay for, I'm not moving tickets where I could like pay for everything, but I try to do what I can.
Yeah.
Matt was like, yeah, I'd be opening for Dane and D-Ray, but sometimes I just have to open for D-Ray because D-Ray would pay me more.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't want to throw shade. But
I mean,
it's like
Yeah.
if you're doing an arena, bro, you
Right.
can throw a little bit more and just be like show love. Like, I know the opportunity, it's its own reward, but that extra couple $100 goes a really long way.
Yeah.
And I feel like it creates loyalty, and it creates a certain level of camaraderie, and it also it teaches you to pass it down.
right. But I think in reverse, I think the people who aren't sharing the love didn't get love when they were coming up.
Oh, sure. That's a good point too. Yeah. So in their head, it's like,
I did it,
don't
you have to do it. Right. So because there's the guys that'll double the feature pay from the club.
Sure. D-Ray does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like whatever they're paying you, I'll pay you too. which is fine. But then you help them
It's
out.
like an extra couple $100. It's not even a lot.
Right.
If they make $75,000 on a weekend,
right. They're gonna miss $2,000, whatever.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and if they're doing that 4 weekends a month, like
But I got to see that clip. I got to see that Dane Cook clip.
it's not as bad as I'm making it out to be, and it's some guy I've never heard of. It's like a business podcast or something.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to talk shit to get views, and clicks.
Sure,
but he's very like, I'm not trying to take credit, but I brought him here. I told him to do this.
To some level, there's probably some truth to it. You know, I mean, look, we can't be where we're at without any of these people bringing us on the road or helping us out.
That's very true.
I can't do any of it.
I've gotten very, I want to say lucky, but I also hate it when people are like, "You're very lucky." It's like, I put myself in the position to do videography, and I used that, and I leveraged it to get stage time.
And also, when the opportunity comes, and then you do well, it'd be one thing if you leveraged that, did a set, and it was like absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
Then it's like it's an issue. But like when I did D-Ray's show, Monday-Rays at the Improv a couple years ago, I was told this was one of the toughest rooms in the city. Like that and Chocolate Sunday, because if you perform for black crowds, people don't realize if you perform for black crowds as opposed to like white crowds or mixed crowds, it's a very different energy. It's like if you do well, they really show you love. If you do bad, they're gonna let you know about it
right away.
Yeah. And it's not personal. It's just like
it's just
they spent their last paycheck to come see this shit. So and I thank God I knew I was ready at that point. I was like 10 years in. If I had done this 5 years in, because I've had moments like that.
Yeah.
Lachlan Patterson is a dude who I look up to, and he gave me some advice. He was like, if I could wait till the last minute to really pop in my career, I might have done that.
Oh, really?
Because he did Last Comic Standing. I think he was a runner-up in Last Comic Standing.
Oh, gotcha.
I think it was like Earthquake or somebody else.
Earthquake's a beast.
Yeah, somebody won.
Yeah.
But that was a time when people were really watching the shows, and you could sell out a whole weekend based off of your last comic appearance. And it's just a different game now.
It's totally a different game. It's like, everybody used to fight to get those spots on like Last Comic or Late Night or whatever. And it was like a solo sport.
It don't matter anymore.
And now it's like, let's all do each other's pod. Let's fucking open, I got a spot on this show. Do you want it? Like, it's just any love we can show each other. It's like, it all just helps. I mean, there's enough food everybody can eat, man.
It is, everybody can eat now. There's like a middle, what do I call it? Like a middle class of performer now.
Yeah.
Where you can make a decent living. You don't have to be famous, but you can make there was an article I think in the New York Times or something about having all you need is 1,000 fans.
There's a book.
Is that what it's called?
1,000 True Fans.
1,000 True Fans.
Yeah.
You can get 1,000 fans to pay you what? It was like $100 a year or something?
Yeah.
It's $100,000. That's it.
It's like, and anybody can get 1,000 fans, but you just need them all in markets that they'll show up in small groups in.
Yeah, that's all you need.
If you got 1,000 fans, but they're in 1,000 different cities, you're fucked.
If you can get 1,000, but that's all you need is 1,000 fans.
Yeah. Back in the record days, the whole business model of getting like out of your hometown and getting a record deal in like the early 2000s was you need 500 in your hometown and you need 250 in 5 towns within 3 hours that you could drive to. And at that point, if you're moving that many tickets,
if you live in Peoria, Illinois, you can do Chicago, you can do all the cities around Chicago easily.
Totally.
So yeah,
it's a different game.
You got a favorite city?
Do I have a favorite city?
People be asking me, what city are you most excited about? I'm excited about Vegas. I'll tell you why. I just asked you a question, but I'm going to answer it first.
Okay.
I got a friend, she's an adult films star, and she is popular, and she does feet. She is a guest at a strip club. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like she's like the headliner at a strip club.
Right. From her performance online, she sells
like,
tickets live.
This person's going to be...
It's a lot like what we do.
It's a lot like what we do.
Yeah.
So she was going to come to the show with her friend, and she's like, and I'd never been to a strip club in Vegas, so I was like, can we go? Can you get me in? She's like, yeah, we'll go to Hustlers or something. And hopefully, like, I'm hoping to get the VIP kind of treatment and like see what it is and hang out.
Go in the green room.
Go in the green room, hang out, and meet all the comics. Meet all the beautiful comics.
I love your work.
I love your work. I like Vegas. I recently discovered I like Vegas this year. I want to go throw some craps.
Are you new to Vegas?
I'm new only because my dad, he passed away a long time ago, but he had a gambling problem.
Okay.
And I don't really have many vices except sex, and I'm trying to curb that now.
Mm-hmm.
But Gambling is a lot. I mean, craps was a lot of fun.
It's amazing.
Roulette, I could take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Blackjack, I could take it. Poker seems like fun if I had a lot of money
Or time.
or time.
Yeah.
But craps is immediate fun and excitement. Everybody wins together. Everybody loses together. A lot of people say they don't know how to play it. I didn't know how to play it, but
It takes an hour to figure it out.
It takes an hour to figure out.
Yeah.
And then you could spend the whole day at the craps table just chilling out,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't even got to be making big bets.
Well, here's the thing about craps. I used to go to Vegas like once a month.
Okay.
And craps was my game, but like the places that I like to stay, the minimum bet on the craps table is so high now.
What, is it 20? Like
It's 25.
Yeah, it's 25.
At Aria, it's 25. At the Wynn, like you can maybe.
That's where I'm staying at the Aria when I go there.
Yeah, have you been there before?
Yeah, but I'm staying at like like their hotel, the
Vidara.
Vidara.
Yeah.
But it's like right across the street.
Right in the back, yeah.
So, because it's a little, I'm spending a little bit more in the hotel than I would like to. I'm honestly going to lose money on the Vegas trip, but I just want to like.
Well, maybe. MGM got hacked this week.
Oh, really? What do you?
Some hackers took down their entire software system.
Oh, really?
Their elevators aren't working. The slots aren't working.
Is Vidara's MGM?
Yeah. So my favorite place to stay in Vegas is the Cosmo because they have balconies.
Oh, okay.
And MGM just bought the Cosmo. So now they have the whole north side of the strip.
Maybe I should rebook my hotel. Sometimes when you buy the room a couple like days before, it's like way cheaper.
Yeah. I play enough to not pay for my rooms anymore.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What do you mean? So how much you spend on the floor?
Though you have to spend an average of $40 a bet for 4 hours to start getting free offers, and the fastest way to do that is craps. Because
$40 an hour.
$40 per bet.
Per bet.
Yeah. So if you're
So
playing,
you're teaching me. So
Yeah,
if I'm going to spend $500 a night in a hotel room anyway.
you're not going to get the first night comped off, right?
Yeah.
Your play will tell them. So get a player's card, no matter where you play.
Oh.
Always let them register your play. And like the first bet that you come out on a craps table, like let's say you lay the 6 and 8 for 25
Yeah,
apiece.
yeah.
He's going to go, oh, Morgan's playing $50 a roll. And on craps, that gets to stay there until you 7 out. So you get the $50 credit every time they roll the dice.
I'm glad I came on this podcast because
Yeah.
this is honestly a life-changing
Once you start getting
fact.
then you're
Yeah.
going to play Vegas more because it's going to be free for you to stay there.
Yeah. And they're going to enable you to have that.
Yeah. But then
but I set aside money to gamble.
yeah.
I set aside like I'm not going to the ATM over and over again. I'm like I'm gonna have $1,000 with
Yeah.
me, and this $1,000 for the 2 nights is just to play around with.
Yeah. Well, let me give you this suggestion.
Okay.
Make that $1,000 everything: food, cabs,
Okay.
gambling, drinks, whatever.
Yeah.
So then you don't get home and you go, oh, I fucking put these drinks on my credit card, and then I hopped in an Uber,
yeah.
and then I got dinner for $300. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So you're not is like that's what I got. Like I got 600 left after 2 hours of gambling, and then
I
so
feel like I'm in class. I'm learning. Bro.
oh man,
Appreciate
I
you.
think I've been 200 times.
Really.
Yeah,
I love that.
man. Because
I like hotels.
yeah. Oh my.
It's
Oh,
fun.
oh, dude. The minute I walked into my hotel room last weekend in Arkansas, I was like, I wonder what Morgan would say about this place.
Oh, 'cause I started doing the hotel.
Yeah, the reviews are
Yo,
sick, dude.
So I've done 3 of those. I actually got offered to stay at like a resort in Huntington Beach. We're starting small. Shout out. But the whole point was I had hit my reps up like, hey, I'm doing 30 cities. Like, how can I like leverage this into like maybe some free flights or free hotels? We couldn't get any bites. So then I was like, fuck it. Let me start doing this because I can't reach out to a hotel and be like, give me a free night and then I'll do this for you. I got to show them that I already do it.
Yeah.
And then I could show them the numbers like this video got 50,000 views. This got 100,000 views. Yeah, I put my hand in the toilet in the beginning. That's literally just so people watch the video. I don't care if they talk in the comments about it.
Yeah.
They're going to watch the video about your hotel. And I feel like it's working. I'm going to do it in Hawaii this week. I'm going to do it. And before you know it, man, maybe I'll just have like, it could pivot into so many things, man.
Totally. And you could find one to shit on, and then companies will be like, we don't want your audience to see you shitting on our hotel, so we're going to pay you to make a good one. It's
100%.
like, yeah, it's like if you know, I used to clip other people's podcasts and make them say fucked up shit.
Yeah.
And I wanted them to like come to me and be like, hey, what's it going to take for you to not do this anymore?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I realized I don't want that kind of attention.
Caesar's Palace, you gotta redo the carpets or something. I see the shit is falling apart.
Caesar's is...
I like it. I like the energy there.
No.
You don't like it?
Got a dark energy.
Really?
Caesars. Fuck Caesars.
What are you talking about?
Fucking hate Caesars.
What do you hate about Caesar?
It's always under construction. All the rookies go there. The newbies.
That was me.
Oh my God. First time in Vegas. I saw The Hangover. Caesars.
Yeah.
Their fucking slots never pay out. They got good restaurants and great shopping.
The restaurants were good and the shopping is cool.
And you got to see it. You got to take your picture at the fountain.
You got to see the robotic Tron.
The rooms are garbage. They have 7 towers.
Right.
Anybody can afford to stay there. So the shitty tower, the first one they ever built, that's $29 a night on a Saturday.
Really?
Yeah, and all the way up to like the presidential suite, it's like $9,000 a night on the new tower. Like, it's just the clash of people. It's too big. It smells. The pool sucks.
Yeah.
And it's owned by the same people that own. So it's
what's the best pool should I go to if I go back there?
It depends on the vibe. Right?
Yeah.
So like, what are you looking for? A party pool? You looking for adult pool? You looking for kid pool? It would be weird.
No kid pool. I definitely like don't like to go in the water because it feels dirty.
Okay.
I'll put my feet in. I just want a pool I could chill poolside with a cabana and sip on a margarita, pop a little mushroom gummy.
Cabanas are tough because they're like $1,200.
Because I'll be real with you now. I'm insecure to say this. I stayed at Caesar's Palace, and me and my girl got a cabana at Caesar's Palace. It wasn't that bad, and we chilled like for an hour or two, and it was a nice time. And it was a good time.
I like the day beds because they still have a little bit of shade.
Not a cabana. That's what it was. It was just a day bed. It was like 2 little things next to each other. That's all we needed. It was just
Perfect.
2 of us.
Yeah.
We didn't do it because I see what you're saying. No, we did the day bed.
Because the cabana is going to be at least $1,000, but it comes with like $300 to $500 worth of booze.
Yeah.
But then you got to tip out on top of that. There's a lady taking care of you all day. It's like you need like, no matter how much money you got, you need like 3 or 4 dudes to go in on it at like $500 a piece to have a good cabana time.
Yeah.
Unless you really want to roll it out. It's just like, but the cabana's got a TV in it. It's got a fridge. You got unlimited mixers. There's 2 or 3 bottles.
Can you, if there's like a fight or a game on, can you just have it there playing and just be chilling?
Watch whatever you want on the TV.
Yeah. Sunday night football. You're just chilling there in the cabana.
I mean, the pool closes at 7 or 8.
That's right. That's what I mean. So
you can do Sunday all day long.
Yeah.
But I like to have a cigar in the sports lounge.
Yeah, I did that too. I did the whole thing. My buddy and I went to the cigar lounge. We got a nice glass of tequila. And it's nice, dude. It's you got to have money though. That's why I've only gotten money in the last year or two, like real money, real fuck around money. You know what I mean? Before that, there would be no world where I could have gone to Vegas and done that.
Yeah, I just kept all my bills and expenses super low forever, and then my business partner has been going to Vegas since he was, I think, 21, and his girlfriend at the time, her dad was a whale, so they would fly in.
Oh, like he put a lot of money. He gambled a lot.
Big time.
Yeah.
They would go and check in. He's been going to the Wynn and Encore since it was the Stardust.
Okay.
The hotel that they knocked down in Ocean's 11, that was the Stardust, and then they built the Wynn and Encore. And he's been going there so long that people remember him from the Stardust.
They really knocked that shit down, huh?
That was a real demolition in the movie. They timed it around it. Yeah.
I love Ocean's.
The Wynn and Encore is the most premium experience you're gonna have in Las
Vegas.
Vegas.
The Wynn was nice. My buddies stayed there, and we had dinner there a couple times, and some of the restaurants there were like,
it's the best steakhouse in the world.
Yeah,
SW
next
Steakhouse.
level.
Do you stay outside with the little the fountain and the little show?
So we didn't go to the steakhouse. We went to, there was a sushi place there.
That's a very good sushi
and you
place.
look through, you see it was like really something else.
Yeah,
it's like a movie.
Yeah,
and I mean, we each spent $400 on the dinner that night.
Yeah,
I just was like, we're gonna go to Vegas. Let's just fucking do it. You know what I mean? You can't, we're here. Like,
you just have to commit.
You gotta commit. You can't be like, oh God, I just spent all this money. And it's like,
scared money doesn't make money.
This is the context you're in.
Yep.
If a sushi roll is $100, like get the wagyu and get the lobster and get like you might as well.
You just got to live your life sometimes.
Can't take it with you.
No.
Let's just have that nice steak and a nice sushi and you have the experience and then
Yeah. I would say don't overdo it though. I've definitely I've overdone it. I've gone for no reason on a Tuesday.
I know. I've been fighting that urge to just fly there for a night and be like, let me go chill.
If you do, call me up.
I will. Okay,
I will go with
sure.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll throw some shit down. Damn. But no, I'm excited about Vegas. I'm excited about Hawaii. Never been to Hawaii before. I'm excited about Denver. Never been to Denver.
Denver's awesome, but the airport is so far away from the downtown.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. So Denver should be all right. Tickets are pretty good there.
Denver is a comedy town, man.
Yeah.
Where are you playing? Comedy
Wise
Works?
Guys?
Oh, Wise Guys.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I think we're at like 160 for the like a Wednesday or a
Yeah.
Thursday.
Who is do you take somebody with you or do you get a local?
So I usually just do a local at this point, but there was a comedian that opened for me in Orlando who they were really great with my audience. They were looking, they've only been doing it like 3 or 4 years. And they were like, hey, like I really enjoyed working with you and I enjoyed opening for you. And like, if there's an opportunity to open for you on other shows, could I? I said, yeah. I mean, if people ask me and you didn't bomb, you did great. Like,
yeah.
I just was like, I don't know if I could really pay for everything. So if there's like, they're going to come to LA, they're going to stay with me. Mm-hmm. Some cities, for the cities that like I'm moving really well, like I'm doing really well, I can get you a hotel in that city because it's like $130, $40. It's like, again, it's like, because I have the commercial money, it's not.
Yeah.
And if somebody hits me up and also they're paying their way for many of the tour dates, they just want an opportunity to perform in front of like real crowds, cool audiences and chill places. And I'm like, great. If somebody DMs me and like, can I do a guest spot? Can I open for you? Can I do a host? I don't care. I'm not going to say no, even if you bomb for the most part, because my hour is just so different from everything else that bad sets cannot really affect my set.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And I run my shows a little bit differently. Some people can take it or leave it, but I go up at the very beginning.
Nice.
And I do 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I warm up the crowd that's there to see me.
So you set the tone for your own
100%.
show. Jeremiah Watkins does that too.
Yeah, because
I think that's so smart.
Because
they get a little taste right off the top.
And they're excited. They're there to see you anyway.
Yeah.
And I've opened for people, and I know how difficult it is to win people over. Mm-hmm. And if I come out there and then I end the opening set, I go, y'all, that love you just showed me, I know we're all excited. I want you to take that energy and I want you to give it to the next 2 comics, and we're gonna have a great show. And then for the host, it doesn't feel like they got to warm anybody up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They could just do their set, and it makes then it just compounds. And by the time I get back up, it's just better.
Yeah.
I think it's not something. If I was doing an arena, I probably wouldn't do that.
Interesting.
Or maybe I would, man. Maybe I'll keep that same shit.
I mean, I don't get the allure of like so-and-so's in the back. Let them hear it. Clap real loud. It's like
I'll be standing out there watching the crowd and shit.
Yeah. I think if you're
and I like when they see me, they go, oh,
yeah,
it's exciting.
Yeah, he's here.
I feel like it builds more anticipation, if anything.
Dude, if you're the ticket seller, why not host the show?
Yeah, man.
Come out and be like, thanks for coming, everybody. And then like bring a band out. Joe Coy's really good at it. Like, he'll bring Boys to Men out for no reason. I mean, he's really good friends with those guys, but
I mean, what was I going to say? I just forgot it, but we do tag team on my shows. Mm-hmm. So there's not really a host. I open it, bring the next person, they bring the next person, they just bring me back up.
Yeah.
Just moves faster that way. And also I always tell the openers, like, you don't got to stay if you don't want to. I don't care. Also, I try to be really nice about it because I've heard stories from openers. I had one friend opening for a pretty big comic who actually just released a special. Maybe it wasn't that, but either way, he was booked from his management to open for him for a weekend, and he's so funny. He's a killer. He opens for Bert Kreischer now. This guy Mark Smalls is really funny.
I've had Mark on the show.
Yeah, he's so funny.
Country club adjacent. Funny golf guy.
He's somebody, he's somebody like the more he shits on me, the more I want to be his friend. I don't know. He's like that guy. He's got that dude.
He's just got that vibe.
I think he told me a story. I think it was like he was opening for somebody and then he crushed it. He crushed the first Friday show, and then the person's team came to him and was like, "Hey, we're good, man. You did great. You're good for the weekend." Because I think he was crushing harder than the headliner. And I just go, so like, I don't want to have that fear in me as I progress in my career. I think Joe Coy has a story about opening for Cedric the Entertainer like that also.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to have that fear, and I don't want to ever have to like, and and if somebody kills harder than me, then that just means I got to work harder and I got to level up. I got to evolve.
Yeah.
I can't get stagnant with the shit.
Yeah.
Gotta stay relevant and see what people are laughing at.
100%. I'm at the level where I'm only getting like guest sets, right?
Sure, yeah.
So I'm going up after features. It's like a feature, guest set, then the headliner.
Yeah.
So I'm sandwiched between a future murderer who's like in the process.
Right.
They got a fucking killer half hour. They're on their way to a full hour. They're going to be a headliner soon. They're murdering.
Yeah.
And then just like my little silly fucking fart jokes. Sure. And then the headliner. So like, I've just been in this journey this summer of going like, it's up to me. If they're going to smell it. They're going to know if I'm nervous.
Yeah.
I have to decide that I'm going to have a good time.
Yeah.
And it's been paying off, man. It's just like, my particular headliner right now doesn't want me to do any crowd work, which is fine. I got 10 minutes.
And you know, I saw somebody post something about that. Like typically openers were never allowed to do crowd work.
Right.
Because you didn't want to burn any type of stuff for, I don't operate that way. If I actually will ask the opener, are you going to do crowd work? Because if they do crowd work, I will watch because I will just piggyback off of what they say, just elevate it, you know?
Well, the lesson I learned this weekend was, because the Saturday night crowd was rowdy. They were drinking and they just started shouting shit to me. So I had to respond and interact with the room, but it set the headliner was telling me after the show, it set the tone that it was okay.
Yeah.
Cause I didn't shut that down.
Yeah.
So he had to build into his set. He had to shut that stuff down and be like, it's my turn to talk. Y'all need to calm down. Like he didn't say those words, but he had to do it in like,
he's polite about it. Yeah.
He didn't, it's just like, if he ignores it long enough, they'll stop.
Right. Yeah.
So I established right before him that it was okay to yell and I would respond.
Yeah.
And so he was just teaching me that lesson, not in a like, don't ever fucking do that again. He was just like, here's something to look out for next time. By the end of your set, you need to have them calm down. You need to be into your jokes so that when I come out, it's joke time. And I was like, oh, that's crowd control. That's a lesson that I needed to learn, which is
it's
invaluable, right? It's like,
well, you know, like David Spade doesn't do the late shows when he does weekends. He
really?
does. Well, I had done Berea 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he was doing the 7:00 show, and I was doing the 9:45 show or something, like 9:30 show.
Yeah.
And I was talking to the
room.
Yeah, huge. And I was like, he doesn't, because he was doing Saturday too. He was doing Friday and Saturday. And they're like, yeah, he just doesn't do 2 shows a night. He just does the one. He just sells out. He sold out the Friday, like the whole, Brea is like 600 seats.
Yeah.
It's a club that's a theater, which is bizarre.
Yeah, it used to be an Old Navy.
Get out.
Yeah.
It's enormous.
Yeah, we did a whole weekend there this summer. With,
Wild. Yeah, so he just does, he won't do the late shows, and I understand that.
He
Because
doesn't have to.
Yeah, and if you do, and also I think he's just he's doing like a massive tour with Adam Sandler now.
Because of the strike, they don't got nothing going on. So
wow.
him and the homies, I mean, they're going to be like, they're going to do a crazy tour.
Yeah, that's
He's so effortless too. He's just so funny on stage. He's just like so chill.
I just met him and
he was nice. Yeah, he's nice.
I mean, I photographed him many times, but he was in the green room at the Improv, and another comic was like, "Hey, Isaac, this is my friend David." And you know the 2 chairs at the top of the stairs in the green room to the main room.
Yeah,
I'm coming up, so it's the comic. He introduces me to David, who's sitting there. I go to slap him on the shoulder. He goes to give me a pound, and we all just get.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just made David Spade feel uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
It's like, how long did he probably never thought about it again?
No. Yeah.
That's crazy.
What is that a tattoo? Is that a foot?
Or is that a state?
That's Virginia? This is the state of North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah. And
from this angle, it looks like a foot with like fucked up toes.
It does look like Virginia upside down.
Yeah.
And backwards.
Yeah.
I have 3 tattoos. I got this one when I was on my 25th birthday. I got this one on my 26th birthday. This matching stars. Yeah. And then I got this on a random beach excursion.
Somebody just offered me a free tattoo in Tacoma.
Do you have any?
I just have one, like a little one on my calf. It's like a little heart.
But I'm like, do I get one for free? Because this shit is expensive.
I mean, yeah, it's a minimum of $100 just for a little stamp.
Yeah,
it's crazy. But I don't know. Do you like tattoos? Do you have something of significance?
This one, that one is, but I'm trying to think. Like, I feel like it's okay to get a
permanent tattoo, like in your mid to late 30s. After 35, I feel like you're an adult. So like, I feel like,
you can make the decision.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
19, you might regret some stuff.
Yeah.
My girl's she's got like a little sun tattoo, like right over here, like in this area. Yeah. She's like, I gotta get rid of it. It just looks like pubes. I gotta get rid of it.
The things we think are gonna be permanently funny in our 20s.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So just wait.
Yeah. I'm at the point now where I want to start getting sleeved out, but I want little stamps. I want like a taco, a turtle, a microphone, not for comedy, but just like things that don't mean shit.
Yeah.
Because everything held such significance when I got these, and it was like, oh, this is for this person, and that's for that person, and this has to balance this. So I just want to just go like, I don't care. Put R2D2 right here.
Because I want to go there with like a cool design, you know. I might do some
Star Trek related or something, like Live Long and Prosper or some shit.
Are you a big Trekkie?
I am, and I've moderated actual Star Trek panels.
Really?
And I even auditioned for my first Star Trek movie a couple months ago.
Wow.
And I'm a big fan.
I've seen every episode of Star Trek with the exception of
TOS, the original series, which I have begun. There are a lot of Trekkies who have not watched TOS because
I won't watch it.
It's very boring.
Yeah.
It's just very cheesy. Commercial breaks were shorter back in the 60s and shit. So like the episodes are like a full hour long. Mm-hmm. It's like a long episode.
Yeah.
It's like a mini movie.
And some of them don't hold up very well.
And some of them don't. Some of
them really don't hold up.
Yeah.
Some of them do not hold up.
Yeah. Do you know Garrick Bernard?
I love Garrick.
He's been on the show. He writes for Star Trek Lower Decks.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know. He's hilarious, and we do DM each other from time to time about certain. You know, I'm watching the sci-fi show Foundation right now.
I haven't started it. Is it good?
I like it.
Yeah.
I really like it.
My buddy read 2 of the books, and he was like, "The show is better than the book."
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm really bummed out because I just finished season 2, and because we're on a strike, season 3 might not come out until 2025, and who knows where we're going to be until then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shit could break down.
I don't know. I'm like, I gotta get.
I'm so close to being one of these doomsday preppers. So like,
same.
I'm like on the. I'm like, if I go a little bit further, like I haven't bought a gun yet, but like, because I don't need a gun for like a home intruder.
Mm-mm.
I need a gun for like
the toilet paper. For the supermarket.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm more of a slingshot kind of guy.
Okay.
Because you can always find a rock.
Right. You might run out of ammo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get my slingshot game up.
If you're just going guns for food, like you're gonna shoot bunnies and birds, you get a 22. You don't need anything bigger than that.
No, I'm just talking about like end time systematic breakdown of the social order, and people are raiding the supermarket. I just don't want to have my shit stolen.
And I just want to be able to like defend myself, you know?
Well,
my buddy says I should get a shotgun in that case.
If self-defense, you can't beat a shotgun. But you're going to be out of bullets in a month and a half. 2 months tops. No matter what you stock up. You got to think about getting the fuck out of LA. If you try and defend yourself in Los Angeles, it's going to be survival of the fittest. And neither of us are going to be the fittest dudes. It's going to be bands of gangs.
I've been talking about like my intrusive thoughts. Like, am I going to have to suck dick in the apocalypse? Like, is that going to be the way I make it? Or will I be able to sing songs?
We could be a jester. There'll be a king.
A jester, right?
There'll be a king of Los Angeles. He'll
For
be like
sure.
the gang leader. And you'd be like, I can make you laugh if you don't make me do any sexual stuff.
Yeah.
Or you can just get the fuck out of LA and go live on a farm somewhere. There's plenty of land.
Yeah,
like
Idaho, Wyoming.
Yeah,
I hear it's beautiful out there.
I've been thinking more and more about Louisiana, right? Because you can fish in the water, but they also have crabs, gators, snakes, rabbits, like unlimited food. I have a buddy.
You don't worry about like the climate. Like I don't know what your thoughts on climate change, but like I feel like you said New Orleans.
Yeah, well, outside of New Orleans.
I feel like that whole state's gonna be underwater in like a couple decades.
Oh, New Orleans! When the levees stop working, when the power goes off, levees don't work. That whole town's underwater.
Yeah,
but like somewhere in Louisiana, near a bayou.
Yeah.
I don't know, something with a water source.
I've been telling my girl, like, she's like, we got to buy a house in LA. I'm like, no, we got to buy a house in Michigan near one of the Great Lakes. She's like, ugh, why? I'm like, because in 2065,
beachfront.
That and like LA will be unlivable. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be 120 degrees here.
Yeah,
and that ain't gonna work.
Yeah, but Michigan, man, it's so cold and it's beautiful in the summertime.
But there was an article in like Time magazine that said like, the article was like where people will live when the world burns or some shit like that.
And they were saying all the states on that like latitude of like right where the border of where America and Canada meets
is gonna have a similar climate to what like Florida is at now.
Wow.
So that's what they were saying. Like, it's gonna be like that up there, you know. which is why I'm thinking like
Detroit.
Detroit.
So cheap right now. Still cheap right now.
Yeah. And
A whole
I'm gonna
city
go
block.
out there. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna check it out.
I'm gonna be there on Saturday.
let me know what you think.
I will.
Because that's what I'm thinking about long term. I know I'm 36. Am I 36 now?
You're young, dude. You got so much time.
I'm 36, yeah.
I'm 43.
43, yeah. Damn.
If you can buy
Middle age, dude.
buy anything, and no, middle age for us is 50.
If we make it to 100,
Yeah, why? We're gonna make it way past 100.
You think so?
Dude, I smoked for 25 years. I still plan on living to 120.
yeah.
Because medicine.
Yeah, my grandpa lived until, that's true. My oldest grandpa lived until 96.
Yeah.
And so that's good genes.
My grandpa smoked from the day he was 12, 2 packs of Lucky Strikes. He died at like 89. He went to war. He drank 17
Yeah.
cups of coffee a day.
I think it's just like a well-lived life.
Yeah.
They say one of the common denominators amongst like people who live long is like knowledge and learning and have a well-lived life.
I was listening to Andrew, I don't know, whatever. He's that
Tate, no, I'm just kidding.
hilarious. Me and my friend Andrew Tate were driving our Ferraris the other day.
Yeah.
Luderman, the famous psychiatrist guy.
Okay, all right.
He was on Two Bears this morning, actually, and he was saying, I forgot the quote, but it's like, nothing in, nothing out, right?
Yeah.
So if you put experiences in, then you're going to get experiences out of it.
Yeah.
And like as comics, the more we experience, the more we have stuff to write about.
I love that. That's why I went to a sex party. That's why I went to 6 of them.
6 sex parties, same night.
Yeah.
That's funny.
No, not the same night. I went. Me and my girl. We went back in the day. We went to a couple, and they were. I honestly, it's like I had to do it. I had to see what this was about.
Yeah.
I wrote a whole song about it. It was worth just the song,
Right.
And also the sex.
There was a sex club in Portland. We were walking back
No
after
shit.
dinner, and these 3 ladies were outside. Like, you fellas want to come inside, don't you? And we're like, what kind of club is this? They were like, it's you can do anything you want in there, but it's like 125 to get in. We're
Can I
like,
kill a grown man. I was
Yeah.
like, can I wrestle a bear?
Right.
No. I see that. I know what you mean.
can I keep my kill?
Yeah.
That's. But I mean, ended up. 2 of the guys wanted to see if they could talk their way in.
Oh, but it costs money.
It was 125, and they
Yeah.
were like, "It's new guy Tuesday. We'll get you in for $50." And then they were like, "Do we look like we have to pay for sex?" I wasn't saying this. There's
Yeah.
a smoother, like, better comedian than me.
But you don't pay for sex. You pay for discretion.
Right.
That's what you're paying
And
for.
then I was like, "Guys, we don't want to go in there." And they're like,
Right.
"Why?" I'm like, "Because only dudes are going to pay to go in there and get fucked. Like, there's no women to have sex with in there."
Yeah, there's like 3.
Yeah, and they all work there. Like,
I work there, yeah.
yeah, that's my only sex club story.
Yeah, no, this was like a grassroots sex party thing. This was like
Like homegrown, hosted. Like, come to my house.
yeah, it
and
was
like,
like you get an Airbnb, you submit, I think it was like $75 if you go solo, and it was like $50 if you bring a partner. The first one we went to was popping. I was not prepared.
do you?
This was, by the way, just to be fair, this was like years and years and years ago.
This
This was like 2014, 15.
What's the conversation with your partner like going into that? Like, do
Well,
you
she
set
and
rules?
I had a threesome with her friend, and she was like, "I had a lot of fun. I want to do that again."
Yeah.
And I said, "Okay." So we joined this app called Thrinder, which is now Field, and then it's called Field now, but it was Thrinder, and then we matched with like a group. It was like a group. It wasn't a person or
Yeah.
And then they kind of explained the breakdown, and she submitted to it, and then we got an email, and then she was like, "Well, they're having a party on Halloween, so like
No
what's up?"
costume required.
Yeah, like, do you want to go?
Yeah.
I was like, we got to go, even if we have to know what this is about.
Yeah.
And that was kind of it. And like I dressed as Tom Hanks from Castaway, so I didn't have to wear a lot of clothes. I just wore like shorts.
Nice.
And I held a FedEx box.
Smart.
And then she dressed as Mia Jovovich from The Fifth Element in that outfit. The white thing.
Orange hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, and everybody was sort of dressed like, like a slutty cowboy, a slutty cat, a witch or some shit, I was surprised at how many women were there alone. And
Really?
I was really surprised. And not all the parties were like that, but there was a good ratio, Although at one point we had gone to a party. I think it might have been like 2018. This was like towards the end of our partying in that. I'm not saying we'll never go back to one, but I just worry that I want to be hot enough to be there. You know what I mean? I'm worried like we're not going to be as hot as we Used to be the shit. You know,
That's
I don't.
fair. Yeah.
So I don't want to ruin anybody's night.
You also don't want to be the hottest person there.
Yeah, you're like the center of attention too.
Right.
That's true. You don't want to be too
You want
hot.
to be right in the middle.
You want to be like right in the middle. Yeah, you want to be cute.
Because you want to be able to level up.
Yeah.
And then you also want to be able to level down.
And also, if you go with your wife or your girlfriend or your partner, and the hot, you're like, hey, sweetie, can we fuck the hottest person? She's like, oh, you want to have sex with them? I don't think so.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to upset anybody.
No. It's got to be hard to navigate that situation. It's got to be super delicate to be like,
Yeah.
you know, you got to lay out all the rules before you go, right?
Oh, we were walking out of that first party, and there was a couple fighting, and the guy was like, we said no penetration. That's what we said. And I'm like, bro, dude, you're at a sex party, bro. I think that first party, like my partner, I think she for sure like sucked another dick. I got head from somebody else. We ended up in a
you found out it was just like you were together.
No, we ended up in a bathtub with this other girl, and it was like fun. We had a little bubble bath, and it was like it was fun, man. You know what's funny? I was working at the Apple Store at the time, and I had a roommate at the time. I was doing non-roommate activities. I should be proud of myself to have been doing non-roommate activities. Like,
what is a non-roommate
I'm just saying,
activity?
like, you can't be having threesomes and having a roommate. You know what I mean? You could, but it's tough.
Yeah.
So
I've only had threesomes when my roommate was out of town because he had a house.
Right.
And I was renting a room from him, but he was a director. He worked in Romania for like 8 months a year.
Yeah.
So I would just have parties in his hot tub.
Hell yeah.
But it never felt like I had a roommate because he was never home.
Yeah. Well, you know, the sex parties was an interesting time.
Yeah.
I got a lot of material out of it. An experience that you can't really put a price value on, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And that just goes back to that thing, like when you're in Vegas, like do this. I'm not saying these were in Vegas. I'm just saying like spend the money, do the thing.
Right.
Like
buy the ticket, take the ride.
Buy the ticket and take the ride.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I have a friend whose brother, he works 6 months out of the year just so he can live in Nicaragua for the other 6 months to just surf.
Yeah.
He just likes to surf, drink margaritas, and chill.
Yeah.
So he'll go to America, work 6 years, doing some bullshit job, save money, go to Nicaragua, and just chill out.
I got buddies in North Carolina that paint houses all summer.
Yeah.
So they can live in some mountain town, Tahoe, I think, and snowboard all winter.
And what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
It's great.
I mean, painting houses in North Carolina in the summer sucks.
It's gonna suck, but I feel like it's worth it.
I have a wrap-up question.
Go for it.
That I ask everybody. What's the best meal you've ever had in your whole life?
Recently,
It can be any time of your life.
I'm gonna be real with you. My girlfriend cook. She's been on this tip. She's been making like homemade vodka sauce. And she's been like perfecting it. And when I tell you the other day, she's gonna make it tonight too. She made it, and I was like, you could charge $50 for this in like a high-end restaurant. This was that good.
Wow.
This shit was, I'm sad there's not more. I'm sad I'm not hungry. I said, you really knocked it out of the park with this. I'm like hungry thinking about it now. So I'm glad she's making it tonight.
What kind of noodles?
It was the bow ties.
Solid choice.
And we make it with a piece of fish on the side and roasted tomatoes.
Salmon?
Piece of salmon.
Yeah.
My buddy, he had a friend who just got back from Alaska, or I don't know where it was, somewhere in the wilderness. Bro caught like 30 pounds of salmon, like straight out of the fucking water.
Yeah, like a bear.
Yeah, cut it up, froze it. He was like, bro, I got too much salmon. So he brought me 6 fillets of the salmon. I put in my freezer, so we're gonna have that tonight. And you could tell the coloring is just like different.
Yeah, it's not pink.
Well, this one is pink. But,
Oh, really?
But I don't know, because some of them you said you could see the color is added, but this one feels like pinker. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is the color's added.
Huh? I don't know.
But is regular salmon like not normally that pink?
The salmon that you get at like Ralph's,
Yeah.
has been colored.
Yeah.
But the like Alaskan wild caught stuff, it can be any color.
Any color, huh?
Yeah.
God, it must be so fucking good.
But like if
To eat
it's
that shit like right out of the fucking water.
just, I'm working on a joke right now
wonder
about
bears are like just like give me that.
yeah, and they just snap the head off.
Also, I heard bears are one of the only things that like don't kill its prey. They just like eat you alive.
Oh yeah.
Like, cause like
They don't care.
Like a cheetah will like kill you and like break your neck,
Right.
and then eat you. But a bear is like, let me just and just like take a bite.
Eagles don't give a fuck either.
Right?
If they grab a rat, they'll just start eating.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah.
Start poking your
Can you
eyeballs
imagine
out.
if the bear starts, or like a python gets you by the leg, and then it's just you're slowly going in?
It's a good way to end this podcast.
Yeah.
Go see me on tour.
I'll put this at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
You want to plug your dates or your socials or anything?
Yeah, guys. Whenever this comes out, just go to morganj.com. I'm doing a 30-city tour. We're zigzagging all over America. I have 2 comedy specials out on YouTube. You could watch right now. And that's it. That's all I gotta say. And I know from a fact, if you watch my current special with somebody you like, you are gonna have sex with them during it or after it for sure.
That's a hell of a guarantee.
I almost called my special, "This special will get you laid."
That would be. It's not too late. You can change the name.
Fuck! I knew I should have done that.
Just get a new thumbnail and change it on
I should have
YouTube.
done that clickbait shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will. That's a good idea. Or I'll do the next one.
Why not?
Yeah.
Morgan, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
I
This
could
was
talk
fun.
to you for hours.
I was chilling. This is great.
The music side of what you do is like what I'm aspiring to get to.
Yeah.
I think you and Josh Adam Myers and like a couple other guys later putting the musical element into comedy are like, it's my favorite shit.
Do you, real quick before we end, do you find that comedians, straight stand-up comedians that just talk in front of a microphone have like bullied all the variety acts out of comedy? Because like in the 80s and the 90s, there'd be like on all those showcase shows, there were magicians, there were puppeteers, there were musical comedians, there were all sorts of acts.
Right.
And now you see these showcase shows, they'll never put anybody but a stand-up on the show.
I think the variety acts have migrated to the television programs that we have.
Sure, yeah. No, for sure.
And
The
it's-
AGTs.
Yeah.
And
I think you practice your magic at home.
yeah.
And then if you're good enough, you get on the show and then you can tour that show.
Yeah.
But I don't think comedy clubs were never designed to have like except for The Amazing Jonathan, weren't meant to have all that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they're just rifling through talent so fast. It's like the setup alone. It's like when 5 bands play, they stack all the gear, right?
Right.
And then you have 5 minutes to get your shit off the stage and the next band's going to come on.
Yeah.
I don't think it's comedians going, fuck you.
Yeah.
But I could be totally wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's all good. Everybody eats. Be all right.
Yeah.
Be all right.
This show's a piece of shit.